Hi there. This is looking at some algebra problems with a method I like calling guess, check, generalize. So let's talk through this just a little bit. It's guess, check, generalize. You maybe remember your math teachers in middle school saying, don't guess, do the work. Well, same idea here, except that what we're going to do is we're going to read our word problems and we're going to take some educated guesses. Then we're going to try to see what the problem tells us about those guesses and how we can use that to help create these systems of equations or inequalities. So go ahead and pause this and make sure you read through the problem that's on your screen, and then we'll talk about it together. All right, so as you read through this problem, you find out Ava has a food truck. She's selling tacos and burritos. So I like to try to keep track of things that are happening here that are important. I either write them down in my notes or I highlight them in my textbook or on the computer. So she has tacos and burritos. She has enough supplies to make 130 tacos or burritos. Okay. She sells each taco for $3.75 and each burrito for $6. Ava must sell a minimum of $600 worth of tacos and burritos each day. Also, she can sell a minimum of 80 burritos. If X represents the number of tacos sold and Y represents the number of burritos sold, write and solve an equation of inequalities and determine one possible solution. All right, so when we look at this, right, we really want to say, okay, what is it asking for? Well, it's asking for the number of tacos sold and the number of burritos sold. All right. And so when I see what it's asking for, that's what we start guessing with. All right. So let's guess. Let's guess how many tacos and burritos she sold. And so I'm going to just put my X and Y right here. And they already tell me what these stand for. X is our tacos and Y is our burritos. Sounds like a delicious lunch. So let's walk through this and let's start with guess number one. All right, guess number one. And we'll walk through this and see if you can understand what we're doing. So I'm going to guess that there are 50 tacos. Okay. And I'm making this guess because, as I look through this, I know I have to have at least 130 tacos. Also says we have to have a minimum of 80 burritos. So if I have 50 tacos, how do I know how many burritos I would have? Well, I know burritos would have to be what, like 130 minus 50. All right, 130 minus 50. Because if I have 50 tacos, 130 minus 50, so that's going to be 80 burritos. All right. Now, if I were to guess something different and have less than 80 burritos, we'll talk about that. All right, so let's just guess 50 tacos, 80 burritos. 50 tacos, 80 burritos. So, did I make $600 worth of tacos and burritos? How can I figure that out? Well, I take my guess and I say, let's find out how much money I made. So for each taco, we're multiplying times $3.75. So $3.75 times the number of tacos I have. All right. And each burrito is $6. So 80 burritos. So that's $6 times, we said 80 burritos because 50 and 80 is 130. Okay. Now I want that to equal $600. What do I do with my total? Okay, I add those together. So let's see if this works. You might need to pull out a calculator. $3.75 times 50. I'm going to say, well, I know $4 times 50. So 4 times 5 is 2, right? Is 200. So that'd be $200 minus 25 cents times 50. 25 cents times 50. I'm going to pause and just double check. I have a calculator here. All right, so 4 times 50 is 200 minus $12.50, or if you just get your calculator, $3.75 times 50 is $187.50. All right, then 6 times 80, well, 6 times 8 is what? 6 times 8, 6 times 7 is 42, so 6 times 8 would be 48, so that's $480. Do those together equal $600? Or what do we say? We have to have a minimum, so we need this to be greater than 600. Yep, greater than 600. So let's see, calculator, 480 plus 187.50 187.50. I get $667.50. Awesome. So that is this would be one solution that works. 50 tacos, 80 burritos. All right. So let's keep that in the back of our mind that one solution works. Well, let's guess another time. Let's say I made 100 tacos. Okay. If I made 100 tacos, so we have 130 minus 100. Well, that's only 30 burritos. We said we had to have at least 80 burritos. So if we plug that in, let's plug in, instead of 50, we're going to put 100 here and 30 here. Would that solution work? Well, I'd have 100, and I'll clear this out. So let's put in our new numbers here, and just so you see where I'm plugging it in, I'm going to put 100 here and 30 here. And so instead of 187 this time, it's $375, and 30 times 6 is $180. Let's move my face. Is that greater than $600? Add those together, 375 and 180. 375 plus 180. I get $555. So that one doesn't work. It's not greater than 600. So this guess is a no, right? Number 2 doesn't work. All right, but again, I'm guessing and I'm checking. What's this generalize mean? So we're going to erase some of this work here that we did. And we're going to do one more guess. So think of a guess that meets what the question's saying and see if this helps you work this out. So, all right. So last guess here, and then we'll see if we can walk through. So let's say I'm going to guess 60 tacos. Well, let's guess 10 tacos, right? I like to do guesses that make sense. That means how many burritos? 130 minus 10 would be 120, because we know the number of tacos plus the number of burritos need to equal 130. And so I'm going to plug those two numbers into this little equation I made. And if I have 10 tacos and I have 120 burritos, well, this is $37.50. I love multiplying by 10. And if this is 120 times 6, 6 times 0 is 0, 6 times 2 is 12, carry that 1, 6 times 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 720, and I can see, oh yeah, that's going to be bigger than 600. So I have $757.50, which is greater than 600. So this one does work. All right, so now think about what we're trying to do here. I said X was my tacos, and so when I guessed my taco number, I plugged it right in here into this equation. When I guessed my burrito number, I plugged it right in here into this equation. And so instead of guessing 10 and 120, we could rewrite this with our variables that we have. So we could say $3.75 times every taco plus $6 times every burrito, right? We said X and Y has to be greater than a minimum or equal to $600, right? Because we want to make more money. We want this money to be bigger or equal to $600. And so there's one equation we get to graph. Now, reading through, it says we have to sell a minimum of 80 burritos. And so we need our number of burritos, which is Y, to be greater than or equal to 80. Right? That's some of those bounds on our burrito prices. Well, how do I figure this one out? Tacos and burritos together have to be equal to 130. Oh, well, just replace these with, I hate when that moves on me, but replace each of these with an X or a Y, and we could have X plus Y has to equal 130. Good so far. And then finally, let's see. Do we have any other numbers that we need? So burritos, 130 tacos. Let's throw these on a graph here and see what we can do. All right. So let's pause for a second, get your graphing calculator out. Go ahead and graph these by hand if that's what you're doing. Let's see. Where did I have that? Desmos. So let's do some graphing here. All right. So let's put in some of these equations. We said we know x plus y has to equal 130. So x plus y equals 130. All right. Oh, look at that. So from 30 to 30, 130. Zoom out, make sure we can see that in our graph. All right. And then y has to be greater than or equal to 80 burritos, right? Ooh, it gives us that nice little shaded already, right? Enter. And then we know that our cost, right, was $3.75 for every taco plus $6 for every burrito. Needs to be greater than, let's see, that or equal to $600. And so you can see if you toggle each of these, what they're going to end up giving us. And we look for those points, right, that show up. So where I have this line here, right, 50 and 80, that was the point we plugged in. That one works. This point right here, 32 and 80, would work, except that we don't have enough food. So what can we make of this graph? Let's put all these points in where they overlap. All right. And as I read back through the problem here, and thank you for dealing with me not having done this very often, we know we need to have 130 tacos or burritos, but we don't have to make all of them. So we could actually turn this into another inequality, right? This is the most we can make, so it has to be less than or equal to 130 burritos. Let me see if I can get that to work. So less than or equal to 130 burritos. And now we get where all three of these are overlapping, right? And we can have all of these points of interest here. So I'm going to just get these up here, and then we'll talk about those points, and then we'll kind of decide what we know. So let me grab this. And so we have some of these bounds here, and what do they mean? Well, here's all some awesome points of interest. We have 0, 130, so this means I have 130 burritos and 0 tacos. 50, 80 means I have 50 tacos and 80 burritos. This point right here, I think that was 32.80, right? That's 32 tacos and 80 burritos, and I still make more money. And then right here, this point is 0, 100. So that would be 0 tacos and 100 burritos. And I make exactly $600 if you know your math. So if you're trying to maximize money, we can talk about where we want to be on this line. But if we're trying to make at least $600, any of these 4 points will work. And in fact, any point that fits inside of this overlapping section is part of our solution. All right. So again, the whole strategy in this is to guess, check, and generalize. And so what you really want to do is take educated guesses, read through the system, right? Read through the problem that you have so that you can then test it according to what you see. So you still need to understand, walk through what you see, and go from there. So one more time, you're reading through this presentation. How do you have the food truck? Make some logical guesses. Make sure you follow all of these different barriers you have where you have to have at least 80 burritos. Check that and keep testing it until you become